Today we're talking about tax and tip, and we are going to take notes on what we learned yesterday about tax and tip. So you need this foldable, and the first thing that we're going to do is take the notes, and when we're done taking notes, we'll go ahead and get this turned into a flappy type of book. Okay, so this is the outside, and I actually need you to turn into the inside to be part that looks like this. Now, yours is empty. Okay, so you're going to have to actually take these notes in your foldable. So the first thing we're going to talk about is tax. And on the left-hand side, we see this question, what is tax? Okay, because you guys pay for tax without even knowing what it really is. So this question right here is super important. What is tax? Whoops, that didn't work the way I wanted it to. Okay, so tax is extra money you pay on every transaction. Okay, this means when you go to the grocery store, when you go to Target, when you go to Starbucks, when you go to the Nike store, anything that you pay for from a store gets taxed. Okay, and this extra money goes to the government to pay for things like redoing our roads. We have a lot of construction going on right now down on John Deere Road, on the 74 bridge. All of these things get paid for by the tax that we pay. Okay, so let's do an example of tax together in our notes. So Faye spent $205 at Target. If the sales tax is 6%, what is her total bill? So I'm seeing some important information that I want to know here. We're spending $205 at Target, so we're picking out $205 worth of stuff. Okay, in this particular city, the tax rate is 6%. Okay, so we know that they're going to spend 6%, an extra 6% goes to tax. And the last part is that we need to know what the total is. Okay, so in my section here, I kind of already sectioned this out because I know we're going to have to do two steps. We're going to have to find tax first. And then once I figure out my tax, then we can figure out our total. So I want you to do the same with your foldable. Split this box into two sections. We're going to start with the tax. Okay, so if I'm finding tax, I'm seeing that we spent $205 and the sales tax is 6%. So I'm going to fill in my proportion. The 6 goes in the numerator on the right. We always fill this in with 100. And then I'm looking, I don't know why this keeps auto-correcting, sorry guys. And we're spending $205. So that's my subtotal is what that's called. But that is the amount of money I'm picking out. So that's going to go in the denominator here. And so what I'm trying to find is what percent of that is the tax. Okay, so we're looking for this variable. Okay, so once we have that set up, we can solve this to find our tax amount. So we're going to cross multiply and divide. So we're going to take 205 times 6. Okay, I don't know what's happening with my screen here. 205 times 6, so type that into your calculator. And then divide by 100. Okay, so 205 times 6, and then divide by 100. Okay, so when I type that into my calculator, 205 times 6 divided by 100 got me 12.3. And when we write 12.3, okay, that is a decimal. But when we're talking about money, I always need two decimal places. So I have to add a 0 to the back of this because 0.3 is the same thing as 0.30. Okay, so now we can just put our label. T equals $12.30. So we're going to spend $12.30 on tax. Okay, but the question doesn't ask how much did she spend in tax. The question asks what was her total. So our second step is to find our total, and total is a clue word for adding. So I know that we're going to have to add these two numbers together. $205, so I have to actually buy the stuff that I picked out. Oh, this is really bad. Okay, let me try that again. Okay, so 205. Now, I know that I'm going to need a decimal point here, so I'm going to put 0.00 because I have $12.30 for tax, and I need to line up those decimal points. So we can add these together. 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 3 is 3, 5 plus 2 is 7, 0 plus 1 is 1. All right, so our total is going to be $217.30. Okay, so there's a tax question. Our next section that we're going to talk about is tip. So let's go over an example of tip. So what is a tip? I need you to write this down. Tip is, what is a tip? We're filling in this box right here. This is the money that you give someone for providing you a service. It's typically around 15 to 20%. Some examples are if you would tip your waitress, a hairdresser. If you go to the nail salon and get your nails done, you would tip that person. Uber drivers accept tips. These are all a barber. Anybody who does a service for you, you can provide a tip. Okay, this is different than tax only in the fact that your money that you give doesn't go to the government with a tip. With a tip, your money goes directly to that person, and that's how they get paid. Okay, so let's talk about tip. In this example, the Kerwoods went out to eat at Olive Garden.
Emily Johnson,
sorry about this.
If you're still in the building, would you please come to the office? Emily Johnson, please come to the office.
Okay, sorry about that announcement. If their bill was $58.20, I'm going to put a circle around that important information, and they gave their server a 15% tip, how much money did they pay all together? Okay, so when I see this word all together, I know I'm going to have to add the tip and the total, the subtotal, but before I can add them together, I need to know how much the tip is. Okay, so that's why I have our first step is to figure out how much money is the tip. So we're going to set up our proportion. By now, you guys hopefully should be good at this. 15 goes above 100 because that's the percent. Our bill was $58.20, so that becomes our denominator. Okay, and we're looking for the tip amount. So you should be able to cross multiply and divide these. So if I do my ovals here, I should have $58.20 times 15, and then I'm going to divide by 100. So I want you to go ahead and do that on your calculator. Pause the video if you have to. Okay, so when I did this, I figured our tip should be $8.73. Okay, so now that I know how much money I'm going to leave for a tip, now I can find out how much money they pay all together by taking their bill, $58.20, plus the tip, okay, add these together. 0 plus 3 is 3, 2 plus 7 is 9, 8 plus 8 is 16, and then we get $66.93 as our total. So this is the final answer. Okay, so these are your notes that we're going to take today. We're going to fill in discount another day, but for now you should only have tax and tip filled out. So we're going to do a couple things right now. Well, you are going to do a couple things right now. Okay, that was super easy, right? You guys did this on your own on Tuesday. So what you're going to do is make a new journal entry in your math journal titled tax, tip, and discount. So this should go in your table of contents. Okay, we're on like page 7, 8, 9, somewhere close to there. Everybody's kind of in a different spot. Okay, so you're going to make that journal entry. Then you're going to cut and glue these notes into your math journal. So I'm going to go back to this. When you're looking at your foldable, what I need you to do is make, cut out this large rectangle. Cut this large rectangle out. Oops, that's not what it was supposed to do. There we go. Okay, and then you're also going to cut each of these flappy lines. So if you see my highlighter somewhere, that's where you need to make a slit in your paper. Okay, so cut that out, and then you're going to glue where it says to put the glue, and then that section goes down in your math journal. Okay, so you're going to get that done. That's your second step, is to cut and glue these notes into your math journal. And then once that is done, you're going to start on your homework. Now listen very carefully. Yes, you have homework, but it's literally 3 questions. Okay, if you look at this worksheet, there's other questions, but we're going to save those for later. Okay, I only want you to do this top chart. Okay, so you're going to use each one of these scenarios. Here's a sleeping bag, it costs $50. Here's the tax rate, tax or tip. Figure out that price and then figure out the total cost. And you're going to do that for each of these 3 things. And then stop. You only have 3 questions. Okay, don't complain. So the rest of the section, don't do it, but don't cross it out because we're going to do it later. Okay, if you get this done before class is over, go ahead and turn it into your class period bin. If you don't get these 3 questions done, then yes, you have to take it home and do it as homework. Okay, see you later.